What is up guys, Wraec here with a new video, and today I beat Voidboss 5, difficulty 10, and I achieved the perfect clear for place 1 on the leaderboard. In fact, there have only been 2 perfect clears yet, which is kind of insane to me. I thought it would be, well, a few more people, but Norman, I talked to him, he said it's really difficult, and the key once again seems to be to run 2 damage dealers, and you need 2 quite potent damage dealers, and also you need to be aware of healing curses. So I think the way we're going to approach this is we're going to watch a clear, we're going to check out a clear, see if it goes well, otherwise we'll have a second one, and then we'll talk about it. So this is the team that I used to clear it. Arguably, it is a bit more optimal to do this and put Williams into the front row, but we'll just copy my my first clear on this. We are going to change this to, no, not this, just this to the wolf, and then we're just going to see and hope that we get a nice clear, because it's a bit of RNG. I cleared it on turn 5 last time, which was pretty cool. Alakita going first, Williams in fact faster than the enemies. LFA is slower, so what you really need to be aware of is once the boss does a basic, I think it is, he will inflict healing curses. We can see them right there, healing curses, and you have to get rid of those, which we use PDE for. PDE in fact puts a small heal on the entire back row, and bam, that takes care of this problem. So PDE, or we should probably put it to 2-speed now, is in fact a very nice way to do this. Williams is a nice way to deal with the minions. You can see him do massive damage there in a sec. There is the damage. It looks like he does no damage at all, but yeah. And you really want a healer. You need a healer there, otherwise you can't run Balance Strike, which of course you really want here. Boss is down on turn 3, which is perfect. So really nice. Let's see. Might get a little bit low damage there from the Williams, which I hope is not a problem, because for Williams you need some enemies that gain energy if they can't attack, if they can do nothing. That is a little bit bad, and we have them in quite the CC here, so this is a very suboptimal situation for us, and might end up with not a perfect clear. At least the clear is already worse than last time, that much I have to say. Let's see, come on. Go on, a little bit more damage. That's not a perfect clear. Oh no. Yeah, okay, the key with Williams is really you need a few of those minions to survive. You need to give them to give him layers, and then you can get the perfect clear. It is a little bit of RNG in there, because if you see them too much, that is a problem. But the general mechanic of PDE does a heal, clears off the mark, the healing curse from LFA, from Williams, from our entire back row. That works fairly well. The key to do this really is you have to be a little bit slower than the boss with your PDE, but still faster than your damage dealers. Otherwise, you will have a problem. And in fact, if you outspeed this boss, you can run Mark Purifier. That is also an option. But if you're slower, then this is really not working out. We can try it again. Maybe I'll point out a few things. Let's see this again. The first thing that you really notice is, well, those guys, they deal a bit of damage. And if I get a bit of damage, then probably a lot of you guys will take a lot of damage. The minions can't damage me, so I guess their damage is not too bad, but you can see, like on the DGN, it's kind of crazy. That is a lot of damage, honestly. PDE is really great for this. This is just a very small heal. Doesn't really let us take too much damage here if you don't have PDE. Other option, of course, is to go with Ferric Vesa. This hit is the special hit that he gets once he has 8 layers, I believe it was. So now we have 0 layers of his buff, which means we have to gain that back first. And if we don't gain that back, or if we use it up on the next attempt, well, then we don't really deal damage for the rest of the fight. So the difference can be between a turn 4 or 5 clear, or a turn 7 or 8 clear. Can really be how long this Williams is on the board and how many layers he does gain. So if we have like double or triple CC'd heroes here, that's not perfect actually. You rather want them to attack. So let's see, turn 4. Should probably get a first kill here. We have 2 CC'd enemies again, which is not good. PDE doing way too much of a great job at CCing the enemies there, which is kind of sad. because that keeps our Williams damage low. And that is really the problem also with Williams a little bit. Once he runs out of layers, there's sometimes just situations where it's hard for him to get those layers back. There we got some hits now, so that is way better. Let's see. It could be enough to kill the entire stage. Let's see. Come on. Okay. Wasn't quite enough, but maybe LFA. At least want to show perfect clear on this video. Even though, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's the same team as before. We just had better RNG on my first attempt. So that's a thing. DGN quite good here as well. And the way I really went into this is I used LFA. I wanted to clear the boss with LFA because LFA is so great against bosses. It's just 135 million actually on this guy because he doesn't have a lifestyle. There's just a symbol here, but he doesn't have a lifestyle actually. So not too much attack. And you saw how he still dealt with that boss. So pretty insane. We got a little bit of soul power on here, holy damage, free immunity, giant killer fire, and in terms of artifacts, holy damage, skill damage, and lingering melody of universe, the deific melodic strings. I took off the shoes to make him slower than our PDE, and of course he's destiny rank 6. So that is really the setup for LFA. And the Williams that you saw is a lot more massive. He has a lifestyle, 181 million attack. Pretty bad roll. Giant killer, hunters focus, really everything that helps us here. And then we have also melodic strings. I went for melodic strings this time just because it is, well, we have 6 turns. Like if I want to go for the initial burst, I much prefer to go for God Eater. But I think over like a longer or a stretch period of time, this attack buff is just too insane to pass on. So I think this is a little bit more damage. We struggled a little bit with CC. So not like CC on him, but if CC is on the enemy. And it is fairly easy for teams nowadays to inflict a ton of CC on PvE enemies. So that is something that can really influence his damage. So even though my PvE wasn't equipped to CC the enemies a ton, you saw how much CC, same for LFA. So there is not even anything in terms of CI offset or control break on here. Both of which, by the way, both Williams and LFA run Balance Strike. I think that's a must-have. My Williams in this current setup has like only 42% crit, which is not good. Can also majorly influence his crit, his damage, because, well, he does a ton of hits. Ton of hits means you can run way higher crit, so it's not quite optimal. Couldn't really fix it though, which is a bit sad. And yeah, other than that, like, I think a great damage dealer other than LFA is a bit of a must-have here. You can also run IHP, I think that would be fine as well. Maybe Star Swordsman, Mockman or DTV could be okay, though I much prefer like Williams or IHP for this. And then you want LFA to take care of the boss, because you want to get rid of that guy so that he just stops throwing armor curses at you, which are not great. The other heroes that you use on a team, I mean, most of you will probably need an HHA to survive. And I guess a DGN will probably also be a must-have in this fight. Reduce enemy attack a little bit and just deal a ton of damage as well. I used Alikita. It is not really a must-have. We could probably deal a bit more damage with SQH here as well. And that is something to keep in mind. So really you are pretty free with that. If you just go for the general clear of the enemy, keep in mind that is probably not your optimal artifact. This is your optimal artifact if you want to go for a turn 6 clear. The rest, by the way, have Demon Belt. Or a perfect clear. If you just want to have the loot, then don't go for... Well, it's not really true. Well, if you... on like a secondary damage dealer, I would go for an Endless. On LFA, just when I thought about it, I would probably still go for melodic strings just to take care of that boss quickly, because that boss is super annoying and does a ton of damage, so you'll probably have an easier time still running melodic strings on LFA, taking care of the boss that way, and then having like a Williams or IHP with an Endless. So I think that is probably the best way to do it. So my team in that sense was pretty standard. The boss pretty tough though, and if you're wondering about the loot, by the way, 148k scattered spirit range shards. We got 617k stellar, which is a ton. 18k of the blue material, it's not really a whole lot. I did like the 617k is pretty insane. Yeah, and I wonder, I mean, tomorrow probably some people will have more luck. It is a little bit of a luck thing. I just got lucky on my first hit, that I got to turn 5 clear there, which I, by the way, also made screenshots of. We can check those out. So this was like the clear that I made. You can see it's turn 5 there. And then we have the 255k. A LFA actually died, which is kind of fancy. You can see he was right there. He actually died to a healing curse because somehow he got faster than my PDE, which was a bit unfortunate. I couldn't really change it, but Williams was able to clear it alone. And that was just the first attempt that I did also today, of course. We just had 2 more attempts. So those were the damage numbers. Most of the damage dealt by Williams was still very impressive damage dealer. And LFA would have probably done a bit more, but he died, which is also why the boss did that much damage. It's probably the first time we see an enemy boss hit E plus 14 damage. It's just the healing curse damage that gets attributed to him. So it's kind of a bit insane. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this little scene of Williams. Quite sad, actually, that I couldn't show you perfectly right now. But we got it. That is all that matters. And if you enjoyed this, maybe leave a like. Or even better, subscribe to the channel. Would make me very happy. We have 70% people that are not subscribed. Helps me actually a lot. I think most people underestimate that a little bit. And other than that, wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.